started. We're having a few technical difficulties, but we'll get it taken care of here pretty quick. Right away, I just want to go over the agenda real quick. We've got a lot of new people here, and so I'm excited to introduce you to them, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So, first of all, let's just go over the, real quick, we're going to go over the schedule. We've got a lot of fun things scheduled for you today, so I can't wait to get started. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. We're going to go over some housekeeping things real quick. You just click on that one. Next one down. There we go. All right, so this is the most important one. Let's please go ahead and silence your phones. Go ahead and put your phones on vibrate, buzz, ignore, leave me alone, whatever you got there. We got several presenters and we don't want to get them thrown off, okay? We practice really hard. Please take note of the exits. There are 2 exits in this building, so this is your safety message. There's one in the back. Everybody take a look. One over here on the side. Here's another one. There we go. In the event of a sudden loss of pressure, no, that's the wrong place. All right, this is a mandatory meeting. Everybody who signed in, please raise your hand. Ooh, that's a quorum. Anybody did not get to sign in? Okay, so we will sign you out as well, so that's great. Everybody signed in. We will be done promptly at 12 o'clock, so this is a mandatory 4-hour meeting. This goes towards your 4 hours of safety for your CDL certification. All right. Restrooms are outside of the auditorium and to your left, out that way and around. I think they got restrooms, trees, everything else outside. All right. If you have questions, just jot them down. This is kind of like church. I always say this every year. This is kind of like church, so you don't raise your hand and tell the pastor, hey, I got a question about the sermon. Just write it down. We're going to have a Q&A session at the end, okay? All right. Sit back and relax, and it's going to be a fun and informative meeting. So, the next thing I want to do is introduce you to some people. And so first I'm going to have a very, very special person come. Hey, you guys have all met Chris Coyle, at least a lot of the people who are at Parkville, right? Chris is my boss. Well, we got somebody really special today, and he's going to come up and just talk to you real quick about a lot of the things that went on here at Parkville and the surrounding areas this year. And it's Chris's boss, and his name is Roger Moore. Roger? Give him a hand. That's it. Show him how we love
Parkville. Hey, thanks for having me here today. I just want to thank all of you for what you do every day. For a student, for the communities you serve, for the children that you take every day to school. You're the first and the last adult to see these children to start and end their day. So the smile you give them, the words of encouragement, the just care and concern you have, you really make a difference in a lot of young lives and the future of our country. So I'm very proud to be here today, proud to be part of First Student. As it says up here, you make the difference. And we believe that, I believe that. And please go out and have a great and very safe year, and I look forward to getting by and seeing you all and visiting regularly. I'll be in the back here, so on a break, glad to talk to anybody. Thanks, Ray.
Thanks, Roger. All right, now, I'm looking around, I'm scanning the room for our customer, our very important customer. Jim Rich, are you here? So, Jim chickened out on me, and we have Dina here. Dina, why don't you come on up? We're not going to make you talk very long, just about 5 or 10 minutes. For those of you who don't know, Dina works with transportation, amongst a whole lot of other things. A lot of times when you call the district transportation office, you will get Dina. Dina, you got anything? Do you want to tell us about what you're expecting for the upcoming year?
It's going to be a great year. I want to thank you guys as a parent and as a taxpayer. You guys do a great job. So I really do appreciate and understand what a hard job you guys have. I couldn't drive a bus. I couldn't have 30 kids or 50 kids on a bus. So I really do appreciate all that you do. And we look forward to another wonderful year.
Great, thank you, Dana. Dina, this is your name right here in lights. Isn't that great? Thank you. All right, I told you we got a lot of special people here today. So let's meet some of them, okay? You guys may not know this, and some of you do, but we have some real great people who have been doing a fantastic job down in Grandview, and they're going to be a part of our team now. And so, if I can have all of the new Grandview drivers stand up, please. Let's get a chance to meet you. Give them a hand, you guys. All right. All right, way to go. And there's one that is remaining standing. Okay. Hey, you guys, please go around and meet our new folks. It is great. I'm sure that you'll get to see them a whole lot in the future, but we're glad to have them on our team, okay? Let's meet a couple of other people. We took on another contract, won some great business down in Lone Jack. Now, somebody tell me how far away Lone Jack is from here. It's way far. But again, we've got a couple of people here that's got 6 routes down there that we're going to run. And so, Lone Jack people, why don't you stand up? Come on. Come on. Good to meet you. I'm glad you came. All right. Fantastic. Pam and Arnold. Don't get me twisted in here. Okay. All right. How many people were fortunate enough to make the great decision to come to Parkville from Shawnee Mission? How many Shawnee Mission people? Please stand up. Stand up. All right, some of them have been working all summer. So we got 2 over here. We got 1 there. 1 over here inside. You guys have met Ron. He's been doing some dispatch work for us. So that's great. And I'm going to embarrass her, but I really do miss her. And I miss everybody when I don't see you guys. But whether you guys do it or not, Miss Regina Fitzgerald has been out on convalescence all summer. She's in the back, and she's got stitches and everything to show you later on. Welcome back, Regina. I don't think she's going to be with us the first day of school, but we'll get her back in the game. Okay, well, we're going to keep moving on here. And we're going to go over some objectives, and then we're going to play a little bit of a game. But I'm just not sure that that's going to work right now. We're having some technical difficulties. But at any rate, so we want you to walk out. Let's just get some objectives of what we want to learn today. Safety. Safety is near and dear to our hearts. And every year we get better and better and better at safety. If you guys didn't know it, this year we only had 1 injury out of the whole year. And if you've seen our lot, visitors, that's no small task, okay? I wish we had $1 million. I think Roger's going to write us a check before he leaves, but yeah, Roger. But we do everything. You guys have seen it. We got spray paint everywhere. We got cones everywhere. But here's the most important thing. Throughout the year, a number of people have had the forethought to come up to me and other people and go, hey, you need to get that looked at. There's a hole right there and somebody's going to get hurt. Or, hey, you need to go over here because that's dangerous. And that sounds challenging, but I welcome that. That is what is, when we talk about locations who have a great safety record, it's because the people are so engaged that they will challenge management to make sure that we get it safe so that no one gets hurt. And so that's really near and dear. Casey's going to take care of that for us. Awareness and prevention of students being dragged out the bus door. This got to be a real serious thing. And we actually had a couple of near misses with this situation where people got closed in the door. So we're going to go over that, and it's part of the safety presentation that we were given this year. And then we're going to go over some actions that you can take to improve route and bus stop security. So that's really important. I have talked to, I bet, 24 drivers and monitors this year who came up to me and they said, Ray, you're never going to believe what happened. This parent came up and they were trying to get in and they had a Uzi and it was all that. And they were telling me that they wanted me to move my kid to this stop and I better do it. Look, guys, You have nothing. All you owe that person is common courtesy and customer service. And we're going to go over what you need to do to just say very nicely but very firmly, I got a route to drive. The number is 777-9311. Please call my boss. All right. That was a song. You didn't get that. Okay, next. Last but not least, we have some new handbooks that we're going to be passing out to you. So we're not going to really go over this, but we are going to talk about some road hazard things, near miss things like that, and really most important, child search. This year we introduced a new tool. We helped develop it along with some people across the United States that gives us really good command of the data that we have on Zonar and child searches. You guys have been doing a great job. I know that you search the bus, but we need you to record how you do it. And so we're going to be acknowledging some winners and some different people like that. As a matter of fact, I think that we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Some people who actually found sleeping children on their bus this year. And so we want to award and acknowledge them. Last but not least, these are the big ones, the big five. Swiping, perfect dry run day, we've got to nail that this year. And there's a number of reasons why. The perfect first day, what we want that to look like. Your responsibilities, not just driver, but driver and monitor, and how we take care of our smallest riders. Before I turn it over to safety, I want to give some special acknowledgement to a few people. And we're going to bring up Casey and Jim and Roger one more time before we let him go. He's going to be on a tight schedule today. But as you know, the first year, I like being transparent. So the first year I got up and did this, I wasn't nervous, but I started talking about all the people who had been here a number of years, and we were going to give them service awards. And I didn't tell everybody that it's only every 5 years and when they send them to us, right? So they were really angry. There's a lot of people who worked here a long time. So before I get started, I want to acknowledge everybody who has been here. Let's say you've been here more than 20 years. Please raise your hand. Stand up. Wow, look at that. We got a number of people. Please stand up. My hat is off to you guys. Amazing. Anybody been here more than 15 years? Stand up, please. Yeah. Give them a hand. Wow. Hey, you can't buy that kind of experience. So what I'm going to do is pass out the service awards that they sent to me. If you know that you're supposed to get one, later on, give me your name and I'll make sure that I get it, okay? All right, so without further ado, Casey, who's our first contestant? So you're gonna give me a name and you're gonna pass it down and Roger's gonna hand them their award. This doesn't happen every day. The first person with 45 years of service, John Tiemann. Come on down. 45 years. 45 years. Here's a person that you guys all know and love. Mary Johnston, 10 years. 10 years. Zero hero. All right. 45. Go ahead, John. When you have 45 years of service, you don't have to walk fast. You can stroll. And with 10 years of service, Allison Miles. Allison, come on down. With 15 years of service, I think I saw her, Amanda Shoemaker. Super sub. 5 years of service, Laura Gilmore. Where are you, Laura? Okay, we'll save it for her. 5 more years of service. Stephanie Hutton. Yay, Stephanie. 5 years of service. Lucille Brooks, where are you, Lucille? All right, these are going to be sold on the black market. 5 years of service, Tiara Quinn. She might be monitoring on her route right this morning. I don't know. There we go. 5 years of service. She's probably driving right this minute. Darlene Brown. KCI. Okay. 10 years of service, Mary Irwin. Yay, Mary! 5 years of service, Mary Waters. Where you at, Mary? She's on a route. She really is on a route. And last but not least, with 10 years of service, drum roll, please. Casey! All right. Hey, help me congratulate these people. Anytime you can spend that much time with the company, and especially the 5-year people, anytime you can stand me for 3 of those 5 years, that deserves a real round of applause, right? Hey, thanks, guys. Last but not least, and then I'm going to turn it over to safety. What time we got? How we doing? All right. We've got 2 other special visitors in the back, and you know them as the Teamsters representatives. So there's Ray and Jerry. Turn around. They're waiting back there. If you don't understand and realize that we don't fight with the union, we have spirited discussions. But you guys already know that we actually see eye to eye because we try to stick straight to the rules, and so we haven't really had any major problems, and those that we've had, we've tried to work them out. But they're your representatives, and they are there for you. You deserve to have representation, and so we welcome them to our meetings as well, okay? Well, you guys sit back. It's going to be a great ride, and right now I'm going to turn it over to safety.
Good morning. I hope everyone had a wonderful summer. We're going to kick this off with some load and unload procedures. Wait. All right, well, I guess we're going to pause that for a brief second. And I would like to acknowledge sleeping children is a huge deal for our company. No one wants to be left with a student on their bus. It's critical that we take the time to thoroughly search our buses and make sure that this never happens in Parkville, it never happens in Grandview, and it never happens in Lone Jack, as well as our Maple Valley and St. Joseph locations. Huge deal, guys. Please, please make sure that you are doing an adequate student search. I would like to acknowledge a few people that from May into the summer, we actually found 6 sleeping children on our bus. So I would like to just first off give everybody a round of applause that we didn't have more. Please stand up if I call your name. Myself. Derek Smith. Is he here today? Alan Harrison. Brian Wortman. Matt Fitzgerald. Will you join me, please? We do have, for the people that did find the sleeping children, some prizes that we're going to let them pick from. So look for more tools that we're going to be using to prevent these kinds of things from happening on our lots. Go ahead. Loading and unloading. I want to start this off with Sweetheart stops. Folks, we have got to stop the sweetheart stops. It is critical that when you get your route sheet, you run it the way it's written. Your dry run that you're going to be doing next week is going to take care of a lot of issues that you might have on your route. If you run across safety concerns or any other concerns, those are to be addressed at that time and then move forward from there. But we need to run the routes the way they're written consistently all the time, no questions. Sweetheart stops puts a lot of people at risk, especially your children. It creates confusion when a sub-driver is driving your route. We don't know these sweetheart stops, and everything is fine until you don't drive. It creates confusion, it puts them at risk. So let's please do your dry run, start out fresh, and if you have any issues or safety concerns with your route going forward, please address those with KB, and we'll make the necessary changes that we need to. So we're gonna go to loading. Approaching a stop, I apologize. What are the steps that we wanna take when we are approaching a stop? We're gonna scan for hazards, right? We're gonna scan and look around, make sure that there's not any students running out, they're not horse playing at the stop. You're gonna activate your amber lights. How far out do we wanna do that? 500 to 1,000 feet. You're gonna continue for scanning for the hazards in the area. These parents with little siblings, they can run out all the time. They might be playing with the ball. These are things that we need to look for. Stop your bus. How far away from your students? Okay. This gives you a great opportunity at the beginning of the year to address this with your students and get them set up where you want them to be. If you have a mailbox, I like to use reference points, say, hey, that line in the driveway, I want you lined up right there. Make sure they're in a single file line. There's no horseplay. You need to remind them that the classroom, or the bus is an extension of the classroom. And so all of the rules that apply in the classroom apply at the bus stop and on the bus. So we always want to stop 12 feet from our students. If you don't have it set up, please make sure that you're stopping 12 feet away. At the bus stop, first and foremost, please, please, please make sure you are applying your brake. You're also going to keep your foot on the service brake, because if that parking brake fails, that's your security blanket, okay? You're also going to shift your transmission into neutral. This is a huge deal. This makes sure that your bus is completely secure, those 3 steps. We're going to check our mirrors. Check, check, check your mirrors, please. Open your door, if it's a manual, open it slightly, and that's going to get those the reds going. And then again, check your mirrors to make sure that everything is stopped and there's no hazards that have come up to your bus. Next slide, please. What are the steps for proper loading? First, you want the students to board the bus after all the traffic is stopped. We're going to see a video here in just a little bit that is going to really open your eyes. And I hope that none of you take risks and chances that this driver did. We're going to load the crossers first. Non-crossers are going to wait. You're going to load the crossers, have them cross across the street, and then get the ones on the sidewalk. Continue to monitor and scan your mirrors. Monitor the traffic, make sure that, always cover your horn, make sure that you're prepared to get those students stopped. Once on. It's okay. I think we're back up. There we go. Once on board, before you pull away, it's very important that you're continuing to scan your mirrors and the area to make sure that one of your little darlings isn't running late that day and is trying to get to the bus. Always, always clear your danger zone. How far around the bus is our danger zone? 12 feet, all the way around your bus, okay? So please make sure that that space is clear before you're leaving. When your students are seated, and this is a huge deal, we always, always make sure our students are seated before we take off. So make sure your students are seated and close the door. Again, do not move the bus if your students are not seated. I like to play the old set and wait game and look in the number 7 mirror, and they will get it, trust me, especially on the way home. Why it's unsafe around that area in the bus. They don't know. They don't think about these things. When I had a route, you can't bark and bark and bark at kids. You have to explain to them, hey, I need for you to sit down because if a dog ran out in the middle of the road and I had to slam on my brakes, what do you think is going to happen to you? You really have to make them think about it. Barking at them is not going to get it. Trust your instincts. I can't tell you how many times I know that every time I search a bus, I do my very best. But there have been handfuls of times that I have gotten 20 feet away from that bus and thought, I just need to look again. And that's just me, and I hope it's within you as well. Perform a final visual search before you move the bus. Always, that goes back into scanning your mirrors. We're gonna do mirror grids this year, again, as we always do. And make sure that when you go through that you can see what you need to see in your bus. And if you have to get into a sub bus, that you can adjust those mirrors the way that you need to for them to be adjusted. You can prevent students from being dragged by your bus. You have to slow down and you have to pay attention. The moment of truth. That's kind of like what I talked about just a minute ago. You know, you walk away from the bus. If you ever have any doubts, what do? You keep walking? No. You're going to stop, you're going to turn around, you're going to do what you need to do to walk away for sure. Staying focused during loading and unloading is critical. I know what it's like to have 50 screaming kids on a bus and you're trying to get some kids unloaded and crossed across the street. But you have to put your focus on the students crossing across the street. We want to maintain, what's going on in the behavior on the bus, but at that moment, what's more important? The kids crossing the street, okay? They are in that critical danger zone, and we have to make sure that they're going to get home safely. Again, do not allow internal or external distractions to cause you from losing focus. Everything can wait. Just put it all in the bus. Make sure your focus is there. Sometimes we get that, inattentive blindness, or you just can't focus. You've got 15,000 things you need to do when you get home. Those all have to be put to the side. Parent who wants to speak with you at the stop. It's really important that we maintain the times that are scheduled on our route, not only for the parents that have to get to work or wherever they may need to be, but for the students. We want to get them to school on time. We don't want to disrupt their day. But more than anything, we don't want to leave them out there at risk any longer than they have to be. They shouldn't have to be at a bus stop for 15 and 20 minutes. The cell phones. Please, please, whatever you do, do not use your cell phone while you're driving a bus. There have already been employees that have been dismissed for this. Please don't put yourself at risk, okay? It's not that important. We don't use the Bluetooth headsets. We don't use the hands-free design, any of that. We don't listen to music while we're driving. None of that. Our focus needs to be on the road and on our students. You might kind of be stressing out a little bit about an upcoming personal event. Maybe one of your kids is getting married, or maybe your husband's gonna he's getting this new job maybe, and it's really gonna make a huge difference for you. And I hope that it does. But please, keep it off the bus. Route security is kind of a big deal these days. We want to make sure that our buses are secure at all times, on the lot, at a park out spot, wherever it may be. We want to make sure that no one can get to these buses and do anything that we shouldn't be doing. So as you're approaching a bus stop, if you find yourself kind of feeling a little hinky and you don't know what's going on up here, what do? Do you pull up and stop? No. What can you do? What are some different measures that you can take? Very simple. Stop beforehand, call dispatch, stop way down the road. Keep driving, It's not gonna hurt to reroute a little bit. If you feel uneasy about a situation at the bus stop, please, Lord, don't put those kids out there. Next slide. So your route familiarity awareness is huge, okay? Something I want to kind of just touch on with that is your route is always your route. Sometimes it can get very routine, but your route is never the same. Situations change daily. You can have a car parked on the side of the road in the AM that you're not going to have in the PM. So while you're driving the route the same way every day, the situation is always going to be different. So you need to prepare for those hazards and watch for them ahead of time. You're going to always conduct a visual scan as you're approaching your area and slow down. This all goes into our what? Smith system keys. Can anybody name off the Smith system keys? Besides the trainer. Anybody? Lionel, you got it? Okay.
Make sure they see you. Do yourself out.
All right. Thank you. Always please look for unfamiliar people that are in your bus stop areas. If you're approaching, your bus stop and you happen to see a car that is parked at your bus stop, it's been there for a few days, it's not a car that you're familiar with, the person in the car might look a little sketchy, please keep an eye out for these things, okay? And again, if you don't feel comfortable with dropping your student off, don't do it, okay? Just think, every time you drop a student off, you're dropping your kid off. And if you feel good about it, then let them off the bus. We can always kind of see people that might be exhibiting unusual behavior. There was a driver at the beginning of the year last year, brand new driver, was dropping off a high school girl at her stop, and this gentleman came and jumped over a fence and came up to the bus and was banging on the bus door. And he saw him, got his door shut in enough time, and this gentleman proceeded to go around the bus, hitting the windows, hitting the door. It was a very scary situation. The bus driver left, did the right thing. We got a hold of the parents. I went out on the scene, and this gentleman was high on something, I don't know what, but it took 5 officers to get this gentleman down, okay? Very, very scary situation. So these are the types of things, folks, that we need to be watching for all the time. This driver did a phenomenal job. He had only been on his route for maybe a couple of weeks, and he did all the right things. So please, I know, I've been on this job for 10 years, and I constantly tell myself, hey, you're driving a 40-foot bus. Hey, you need to scan the area. You have to keep it fresh in your minds. You cannot let this information get stale. We don't tell you this over and over and over and regurgitate it to you guys just to be talking, okay? We have to do our best to keep ourselves safe. Look for physical changes. This goes into your route hazards. You might have a fence or some shrubs or a tree that's blocking your view. Come talk to me. I'll be happy to get a hold of the city and see what we can do to take care of that. Items blocking the roadway. Sometimes when we don't have a lot of railroad crossings in Parkville, but some of our other locations do have railroad crossings. And you want to make sure that when you are going over there, you're using all of the procedures that we've set in place to keep you safe, okay? So once again, at the bus stop, you're going to remain observant. You're going to leave the service door closed if you feel that there's any kind of threat. Conduct a visual scan again and again and again. Focus without hurrying. You're getting paid the same rate either way. So please take the time. Don't be in a rush. Don't speed. These are where accidents happen. This is where a student gets off where they shouldn't get off. This is where the threat goes undetected. Scan the area once more to be certain that all traffic has stopped before opening your door. And then once the door is open, focus on the safe loading and unloading procedures that we just went over. Keep the threat outside the bus. I ran a route last year, and I ran it late, didn't know it. It was 4 pages long. It was a great one. I get to the bus, or the school, probably 15, 20 minutes late that day. And I'm sitting at the high school, going over my route sheets for the elementary, and I get a car that pulls up on the side of my left side of the bus, driver's side of the bus, slams on her brakes, jumps out in her PJs, and comes around to the service door and is banging on the door. And I just simply told her, ma'am, if you'd like to come over to my window, I'd be happy to talk to you. And she gave me the what for and a couple finger gestures and the whole 9 yards. And I just continued to tell her that if you'd like to come over to my window, I'd be happy to talk to you. Folks, we're not asking you to take that from anyone, but we really need for you to stay composed and give good customer service. All you need to do is say, call Casey, here's the number, and I'll be happy to take over from there, okay? Just don't let them on the bus. That goes bad real quick. So never ever let an irate parent on the bus. always get them over to your window. We do have the unauthorized stickers in the stairwell. Sometimes they don't see those. So you might just remind them, it's against the law for you to be on the bus. Come over to my window, I'd be happy to talk to you. And leave the area immediately. You don't have to sit around, you don't have to argue, you know, if they don't want to take the information, just keep it moving. They'll call.
Hey Casey,
Yes.
we're going to have a little interlude here and we're going to take a little test because what we want to do is get everybody set up for your big test at the end, okay?
All right.
So if you'll just stay there, I'm going to get us loaded and we're going to get everybody set up for this really cool thing here. So, does anybody know what this is? All right. So we're going to play a game. And it's called Kahoot. Now, what you're going to have to do amongst yourselves is you are going to have to... Ooh, that's really loud. All right. You are going to have to select somebody at your table who is really smart and who has a smartphone that works really well. One person at every table.
Tim, it looks like it's you, Bo.
I think it's you, Tim. All right, so everybody who so what I want to do is I want to direct you to, if you've got an Android phone, you want to go to your Play Store. And if you've got an iPhone, you want to go to the, what's it called? The App Store. I got one. I just wrote it. All right, so you want to download this thing called Kahoot. It's spelled this way. We've already checked that there are no viruses, it's not a trick thing, it's no spyware or anything like that. So when you guys get that downloaded, whoever you are, you'll see that it says play the game. How we doing? All right. Now how I will know that you're really getting there is that when it says play the game, you're going to type in the PIN number, and then you're going to choose a name for the people at your table. Please choose a clean name, a name that won't embarrass us or you. Oh, so Safety Lisa's already in, and Kara's in. All right, we got two players. You're probably how we doing? Does everybody know what an app is?
It's not short for Apple.
Oh, look, they're coming in with Barbecue Stash, Barbecue Master, The Incredibles. Lone Jack. Oh, I know where those people are. It's gotta be you guys. All right. We're up to 13 people. How we doing? Few more? Who's not ready to play? You're not there yet? Okay, you guys are not there? We'll give it a little bit more. The real McCoy is Parkville, Billy, no! Oh, 24 players. How we doing? We ready to play? All right. Jim, I'm gonna get you to green. All right. All right. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we're gonna play. Now you guys are the designated game masters at your table. So when Casey gets up and we play the same, so you gotta pay attention. You guys are gonna be the ones that your app's already loaded and you're ready to go. Now, here we go. I wouldn't yell the answer out because if you do, the other team might win. All right, go ahead and put start there. All right, 4 questions. Are you ready? First question. What are our critical safety behaviors? And what happened? This isn't counting yet, so listen up. You gotta be on your game. You didn't have enough time to answer, did you? All right, let's go to the next question. Here we go. You can't see? That's as big as I can get it. Why don't you bring your representative closer? All right. Oh, you can't see down at the bottom? All right, so why don't you guys stand up? The people who are voting. And that might help a little bit. I apologize, we don't have PA seating like we used to. Let's go to the next question, Jim. What is the name of our SVP? All right. Roger Rabbit, Roger Jones, Roger Ramjet. Whoa! Somebody get
Roger, you got a lot of aliases today. We're going to need that on your I-9, please.
The correct answer is Roger Moore. And he was the guy who passed out the award. Okay. All right, next. Safety Lisa's in the lead right now. Safety. All right. So those are the top 5 right now. Let's go to the next question. Finish this statement. She's got electric foods. With anybody who knows Elton John lyrics. So, hats off. All right, next. And Safety Lisa still holding it down. All right. MVP is making a move. All right, next. This is the last question. What is our last ranking for operations metrics? Ooh. Well, what is the correct answer? First in the nation. Now, this is really good. Everybody who guessed first in the nation, I want you to stand up or hold your hand up. Give these people a hand, because that's where we're going to be next year. We're going to beat every tiny lot in the nation. Next year, we got a plan. All right. But actually, first in the nation for a lot of our size. We had a really good year, and that's because of you guys. You guys did a great job with your metrics. Okay, we're gonna get back. So now we've got everything set up for the real game. This was just a play game. So we're gonna give it back to Casey. She's got about 4 more slides. We'll play a game and take a break. Okay? That was great.
I'd also like to add in there, Ray. Not only were we the first among lots our size, but we also got a perfect 10 from the district. Leave my attendance out that I love so much. So we're going to talk about some key attendant responsibilities. If you are on a van route, this really is a joint partnership. Do your best to work together, because at the end of the day, it makes that ride so much better for your students. A lot of the students on those van routes have challenges of their own, and we don't need to add to that problem, okay? So, attendants have a very serious responsibility. They're to maintain the order on the bus, assist the students entering and exiting the bus as needed, and be prepared to assist them in an emergency situation. This is a huge thing. You really need to have, even on a big bus, an evacuation plan in order. And make sure that no child is left behind. Is it just the monitor that searches the bus at the end of the route? Are you sure? Yes. We should all be searching the bus. Driver and monitor. Every time, anytime there's a student on the bus, both driver and monitor get up and search the bus. What are you going to do if you stay behind that wheel and the monitor misses somebody? Because guess what? It's not just on the monitor. So please make sure that you're both searching the bus and doing an adequate job. Building relationships with your students. This isn't just for the vans. This is huge for your large bus as well if you drive one. Maintaining order on the bus begins with building that relationship with your students. If you can get them to respect you, you've got it made. This takes time. You're not going to do it right off the bat. A huge part of that is simply learning their names. Okay? Giving them a, "Good morning, little Johnny. How are you today? I really like your shoes. Hey, Sally. Your mom did a great job on that braid today." This is huge for you to acknowledge them. You don't know what kind of morning that they have had, and you don't know what they're going home to. So please, please, be that shining star in their life. All of you can do it. All of you are amazing people. I've worked with the majority of you for a long time. I look forward to working with the ones that I haven't. And I know that everyone here has the capability to do this for their students. So please take the time. It's so important. Talk to your student about their day. I used to have kids that chat me up in the front seats all the time, and they didn't want to hang out back with the cool kids. They wanted to hang up front with the cool driver. Laugh with your student. You know, I know we have drop and go procedures now, but if you find yourself having a little idle time, I used to have riddle books or joke books, or bring some books to read to your kindergartners, or take that time and do that for them. It'll mean a lot. Model desired behavior. You know, I can't tell you how many times I've gotten on the bus chewing gum, and boy, do I catch it. So, you know, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander, right? All right. Be consistent in your reactions to their behavior. This is huge. You have to be fair and consistent all the time. You can't let little Johnny get up and run down the aisle one day and then the next day put the hammer down. That's just not going to work. If you find yourself having student management issues, please come and say something to us. We can't help you if we don't know. And we'll do everything that we can to get you where you need to be, to give you some tools. Ray has written a book that's fabulous that talks about all kinds of different student behaviors. We are here to assist you, so please let us. Think about the ways that you're impacting the environment on your bus. Are you talking too loudly? Are you screaming into the 7 mirror? If you get to a point to where you feel like you have to raise your voice that loud, it's time to pull the bus over and get up and turn around and address your students. Yelling in that 7 mirror is going to get you nothing but a sore throat. What is behavior? It's all kinds of things these days, right? We have good behavior, we have bad behavior, we have in between. It's really important that we try and focus on some positive reinforcement. That goes a long way in life as well as on your bus. And, you know, hey, you may have had, little Johnny might be struggling for 5 days to sit down, little Johnny, just sit down. But on that 6th day, he sat there like a perfect angel. Do you not acknowledge that? You have to acknowledge that. That is him making the effort. So if you see that, you have to make the effort as well. Young students and students with disabilities are not going to be prepared as the older ones and the ones without disabilities. For our state school people, kudos to you. That is not an easy job to do every day. My heart goes out to all of you because that's a big task to deal with those students. So yes, please give yourselves a round of applause. I want you to know that whether it's a state school route or a student with autism on your bus, this is near and dear to me. They didn't ask to be that way, and you need to treat them with respect, period. Stability is so important to these kids. You know, I know sometimes we have to take off and, you know, you have an appointment, you just can't be there that day. But it's so important for you to be there, whether it's a special needs route, any route. It's so important for you to be there every day for that stability for those kids. No one is going to know your kids the way you do. No one's going to treat those kids the way you do. It's huge. You know, that day you wake up and you think, oh, I just don't feel like it. Think about if your route is going to get out of the lot late and your kids are going to be standing on the bus stop for 20 minutes, because it can happen. We do our best to make sure that it doesn't, but it happens. So please, it might be raining that day. It might be 20 degrees that day. Please, if you can come to work, it's so important. The biggest part is the behavior that's happening on your bus unsafe? If it is, then there's some steps that you need to take. Write an incident report. Come and talk to me. Talk to KB. You know, maybe this is a student. I had a student that rode my bus that with special needs, didn't need to be on my bus. And working with the school and working with first student, we were able to take the necessary steps to get him on the type of bus that he needed to be on. But you have to have patience. These things don't just happen overnight. And I know that it's frustrating when they're on your bus and they're being a disruption, but just please remember, we are doing our very best to handle it, and things just don't happen overnight, especially when it comes to situations like that. There are a lot of steps that you have to take to get a student on a smaller bus. While you might find a certain behavior annoying, if the behavior does not put the student or others at risk, is it unsafe? Sometimes you have to pick your battles, you know? Your foot's out in the aisle. Is that life-threatening? No. You know? They're talking a little loud. Can that be addressed? Yeah. We want to take the necessary steps, even when it comes to writing conducts. You have to take the necessary steps. I had a 3-strike rule on my bus. I would warn them the first time. The second time, they got to come up to my safe seat in the front. And depending on the severity of the behavior, is how long that they got to sit in the seat. And after that time frame was up, they got to go back to their seat. And if they did it again, then they got a conduct and their seat got permanently changed. That gives a student adequate time to change the behavior, okay? You have to work with these students. You can't just react and write them up. You have to give them an opportunity to change. Keep a notebook. On every page in the notebook, write a student's name down. And every time that you have to warn a child or talk to them, write it on the page. And that's something that you can go back and reflect on with them. And it's completely private. It's their page. That is huge. And when it comes to the school district, when you have documentation to support the measures that you have taken on the bus, that's hands down gonna win you what you want, okay? So please take the time.
All right, we're going to take a quick 15-minute break, and then when we come back, we're going to play another game, all right? Please come back at 9:30. It is 9:15 now, 9:30, 15 minutes.
do? 2, maybe 3. We do February 3rd. Yeah. Well. Just Coach sat him down.
Everybody logged in?
Yeah, he's up there. But his coach sat him down and he said, Kelly, and went, okay, so here's the deal. You can work, you can go to school. It doesn't make you
All right, here we go.
24/7, that's your responsibility. Part of that's going to be if you have to go to school, keep your grades up, you got them all. Unless you want to be there. And she went, I'm good with that.
Alright, we're gonna get going.
I've left it in his hands. That's all I can.
Here's our safety review for the information we've gone over today. What are the steps you follow as you approach a bus stop? the non-crossers. Yellow is instruct students on existing exiting procedures. And the green one is give the universal signal for students to crossing the road.
Congratulations to Super 8. They won that round. See
25 minutes. 20, 25 minutes and take a break. Does that sound good? Almost there. I would tell you a joke, but you guys know I only know one joke, so. And you already heard that one, so. There we go. All right, let's talk a little swiping. So we're on a route. We're getting on our route. You're at Parkville, at the north lot, at the main lot. Okay? Let's first up your swipe procedures. Dispatch, right? Do the swiping thingy. It's the only place we do the swiping thingy. Everybody else, what's the next step in the procedure? Swiping. Swipe in on the bus. What time do you swipe in on that bus? At your scheduled time. You swipe in too early, and it doesn't match up. You swipe in too late, and it doesn't match up. So how do you know what your scheduled time is? I apologize, it sounds like again, I just want to make sure I bring it back here. How do you know what your scheduled time is? I'm sorry? It's on, there you go. It's on your route sheet. It says task start time. Isn't that cool? Any questions on that? Where else can you get your scheduled time? We give you a schedule that you sign off on every year. And that schedule matches the scheduled time on your route sheet, which matches what's in VersaTrain for your route. Any questions on what time you swipe in? Why is that important, especially for those outlying locations? Grandview, Lone Jack, Maple Valley, St. Joe, South Lot. Why is that important? You want to get paid, right? And you want to get paid correctly, correct? Right. So, if you don't swipe in at your scheduled time, say you swipe in 10 minutes early, these are at the South Lot, you want to cheat the keys in the afternoon, get down to Park Hill South early, right? Park Hill South drivers, right? So what happens is, that swipe doesn't match, we got to do a bunch of research, it creates all kinds of headaches, and we take a guess. And so now, it could put your guarantee in jeopardy. So if you don't swipe in on time for your route, and say you swipe in late, what happens to your guarantee for that part of your route? You just get paid your actual time, not your guaranteed time now. Got it? You swipe in late, you get paid your actual, not your guaranteed. You just forfeited your guarantee by swiping in late. Okay? You swipe in early. I don't know if you swiped in on time for that task or a different task. So now you put your guarantee at risk. I didn't say you lost it, I just said it's a risk. You got to go research. So, what time do we swipe in? At our scheduled time. Thank you. All right. You guys can read the rest of these. Our out swipe. Every day, what's our out swipe? Your postscript. Okay? So your postscript is your out swipe. You do not have to swipe again out. Just your postscript. If you have any issues on your bus, where do you put them? In your Zonar 1. If you don't know, like Lone Jack has it in your Zonar. We'll teach you guys. If you're a new driver and you're going, what is he talking about right now with Zonar? We will teach you. If you're not sure and you've been here for 45 years, I know John knows this, but we'll teach you. Okay? If you're not sure. Last thing, you have to do your student search. Very critical. I'm going to read this verbatim so everybody can hear this. After every tier of your route, anytime you're getting off the bus at each stop of your trip, and at the end of your trip, you have to do a student search. What does that student search look like? Somebody said Zonar 1. Thank you very much. We start with bus secure, we get our Zonar 1, we swipe for child check, right? Is that what it says on Zonar 1? We go down the back of the bus, we do our search, right? Each seat, boom, 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 boom. Kids, lost articles, all those kinds of things. We hit the black button at the back, we come back up, boom, 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 right? Check each seat. Try to search for those kids. And then we hit the other button. I'll
take questions later, George. All right. Go. All right. Trip. So you got a trip. After your route, you go straight from your route to your trip. What's the proper swiping on your Zonar wand now? Very good. Swipe out, swipe back in. You can do it at the end of your route. You can swipe out before you go to your trip, swipe back in. Perfect. Thank you. This is when you don't have to do a post trip yet, right? Because you're on the same bus. So let's say we change buses. Say we swap out buses at the school with you. Sometimes this happens. Your trip your charter needs a van route, right? Needs a lift. So we run a van up there for you, a smaller bus up there for you. And you swap out buses now. So now what happens? Very good. We got a pre-trip. So we swipe out off the old bus. We do a what before we get off? As we're getting off that bus. We do a child check. Thank you. Who said that? Raise your hand. You're my hero. You are my hero right now. Thank you. So before you get off the bus, you do a child check. Right? You should do a post trip. Get off the bus. You go do your pre-trip. Take care of the bus. Got it? Right. All right. Again, student search. Every time we get off, every tier we finish, anytime you stop and let kids off after different route, different portions of your trip, you do your child search. All right, go ahead. Other work. So say you're at Grandview. Say you're at Grandview, and your bus needs to be PM'd, and we need to take it up to. It's preventative maintenance. For those of you who don't know, PM means preventative maintenance. So when you take it up to Parkville to get looked at, you have the preventative maintenance done because they're just so swamped, and we got to have a tech come down to Grandview. We're going to do it up in Parkville. So what's my swipes look like now? I get done with my route. I'm in Grandview. Hey, Annette, can you take the bus up to Parkville for me? You're going to say, yeah, I can do that, Jim. Sure, I'll be happy to do that. Okay, so what do we do before we go up to Parkville with that bus? We swipe out, we swipe back in. Correct. It'll be other work. The other thing we need to do is put it on a pink sheet. Every location, Lone Jack, Grandview, Maple Valley, St. Joe, we'll have a yellow button so you guys can swipe in and swipe out. South Lot's got them already. Maple Valley's got it already. I think St. Joe's got one already. There's a dispatch button already set up at your locations. Okay, and there should be a pink sheet there too. I'm not taking questions, Ernie. I'll do it at the end. All right, outline lots. You can do this with you can get the pink sheet to your lead driver and they'll handle it from there. The pink sheet piece of this. All right. Why is it important again to swipe properly? It's pay, right. So if you went to work for GM and you didn't have your time card, right, or you didn't have your whatever ID they used to swipe in for their time, what would happen? You don't get paid. Amen. You don't get paid. You might even don't go home. You can't show up to work with your stuff you need to work with them. You don't get to work. Okay? So what's that mean for you? I'm not a bad guy, I'm a nice guy, I really am. But, show up without your Zonar card, I might say, you know what, I got 3 subs sitting over here, they're going to run your route. Just understand that. You take risks when you don't show up with your Zonar card, when you don't show up on time, and when you swipe in early. You're taking risks with your guarantees every time you do it. All right. So with that, let's do a Kahoot. How's that sound? A Kahoot! Let's Kahoot! So get your phones out. Okay, so can you run that for me? dry run day? Dry run day is Parkville School District. State schools, Lone Jack, they will have their own schedules for dry run. Since the bulk of your Park Hill, I'll let you know. If you need to know what's your dry run day for those state schools, Park Hill, contact your lead driver, and they'll coordinate that with you. All right, so I'm going to go through some details here, and it's very critical because we had an issue with this last year, and there was and we had to get the union involved, and some decisions were made. Okay, which is all good. It's all good. All right, mandatory dry run, Monday, August 7th, Tuesday, August 8th. All right, so what bus do we run our dry runs in? Your route bus, unless it's down that day, then you'll use a sub bus. No problems, right? Okay. What time do we run our dry runs? At the scheduled time. Thank you. So that means at your route times. So if you got the 6 a.m. going out of Nancy, what route did you use to run last year? Going out of where? Wherever that was. Where was it, Nancy? Huh? So what'd you run, Nancy, early? I know, what school were you going to early?
Park Hill South.
South. So you going to Park Hill South. She left real early. She went on the first bus. There were like 2 buses that left around 6 o'clock. That means you're running your route. If you got that route, you're running that route at 6 a.m. Okay? Then you're coming back in the afternoon, run the afternoon at the afternoon time. All right. This is critical now. The fourth bullet point down here is very critical. As you're doing your route, write your times down as you get to your stops. So, if your route says task begins at 6:30, first leave lot at 6:45 or I would say 6:45. I would say 6:39. Leave lot at 6:39, and first stop was at 6:52. Okay, so we want to hit leave lot time. We want to hit that first stop time. Now, if we're late to the first stop, no problem. We just write down that time. If we're on time for that first stop, we write down that time. If we're early for that first stop, we write down that time. Whatever time you're early, late, or on time, you write it down on your route sheet. Why is this critical? It sounds like I'm being really redundant with this stuff. Why am I going to write down times so I hit stops? Why is it important? Exactly. So let me tell you the process, how this is going to happen this year. So in the past, what happened was we just send drivers over to KB's office, and KB would have a list of drivers a mile long, and you guys would stand in that line and come to me and complain about, I've been standing in this line for 45 minutes, all I need to do is change my first stop to blah, 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 blah. Okay? That's not going to happen this year. So what's going to happen is we're going to have a few people sitting out there in the driver's room, and you're going to meet with them, and they're going to take the notes, and they're going to go to KB. But if you come to me, and I'm one of those few people, and you have a blank sheet and didn't write down any times, I'm going to tell you, you don't get to change anything until you write down your times. That's how it works. Okay? You've got a responsibility here, and I've got a responsibility. We want to make sure these routes are correct. Okay? So you need to help me. If you follow these guidelines that I've requested, pretty simple guidelines, not asking for too much, you get paid A rate for that. You don't follow, then your guaranteed time, yes ma'am. You get paid your route time, you're guaranteed for those routes. You show up on the route time, you take the times down as you make your stops, you run it AM, PM, both days, you get paid A rate. Okay? You get paid your guarantee. Any questions on that? So it's important for you because you want your guarantee. Actually, I'm not taking any questions till the end. I apologize. So take your question. Don't have those down yet. You don't have those ready yet. Okay. All right. Route adjustments will only be made for if times are tracked or if there are safety issues. So if you come to us and say, hey, look, you got me picking up a kid 3 blocks down, crossing I-29, right? That's kind of a safety issue, isn't it? We wouldn't want any kid doing a stop in the middle of I-29, would we? You got to tell us. Now, I will tell you this. So everybody knows this, right? We're rebidding all the routes in Parkville. The Park Hill School District, right? Everybody knows this already. There's reasons for that. I'll be happy to explain those if you want to talk to me. It's fine. This is the thing I do know. We rewrote all those routes. So that's why we're rebidding all those routes, because they've all been rewritten at the request of the school and because we're getting prepared for some stuff that's coming down the path, right? And next year a new school comes online, the year after that a new school comes online, and we've got some other stuff that got added this year, so we've rearranged those routes to make it work for everybody. And we want to meet the needs of our customer, the school district. So, the reason I'm telling you this is because we want to make sure that you know your route extremely well before that first day. Extremely well. Because there's nothing worse than us being late because we don't know our route. Now, who drove summer school this summer? Yeah, so how good were we those first week and a half, 2 weeks of summer school? Some of you were fantastic. Some of us, now, it wasn't on you. Now, I want you to understand, bus drivers, monitors, it's not on you that we had some issues for summer school. There were reasons for that. We're going to make sure those issues don't pop up this fall with August starting, okay? We're not going to have repeat those issues. We're going to have a great start. All right. So that's dry runs. Now, we're going to show you film here in a little bit, but you got to make sure you do the things that we request here. Otherwise, I'm not going to pay you a A couple other little announcements on this. You want to go do your dry run in your car? Have fun. You're not getting paid for it. Just want to be clear. You want to go do it in your car? Have fun. Party on, be cool, drive the speed limit, don't get a ticket, all that kind of stuff. Don't drink and drive, whatever. You're not getting paid to go do it in your car. We want you on a bus. Why do we want you on a bus? Well, so I know where you are. I'll tell you the reason I actually want you on the bus. Because when you screw up, and you're going to screw up, we do. We're not perfect. When you screw up in a car, I just pull into the driveway, back up, drive out, I'm done. When I screw up on my route on a bus, I've got to figure out how to get out of that mess. So you make a mistake doing your dry run? Fantastic. That's great. You learn it. But you got to figure out how to get out of it on the bus too, or else you're not learning anything. Okay? Any questions on that? Well, no questions. I'm sorry. Keep asking that. As you can tell, I always ask a lot. All right. That's dry run review. So what we're going to do now, hopefully, do we have our Kahoot fixed? Mr. Ray? Yeah, we need a little help here. We're having Kahoot issues. All right, so what day's dry run? What time are you going to be here to do your dry run? Excellent. What are you going to do while you do your dry run? Right down and stop. Thank you. And when you get done, you're going to come see a group of people. I'm not sure who all of them, but I'm sure I'll be one of them in the driver's room, and we'll get you taken care of any changes. If you're sick, I know the other thing I wanted to tell you. So, last thing I want to tell you is all of these routes have been run by DTs or some of our sub drivers. So you're not getting a route that's just not quite right. We're going to do swiping first and then the other. So all of these runs, all of these routes have been driven by either a DT or one of our sub drivers this summer. So you know that too. All right, put your phones out. Let's go. This is swiping. We're doing swiping first. this is on swiping. What is the proper way to swipe with your Sonar wand? Dispatch child search and post-trip is red. Yellow is dispatch on bus pre-trip child check post-trip. Blue is on bus child check post-trip. Green is I don't need to swipe, they will pay me anyway. I will hunt you down if you put green. Yeah. All right, safety mark. Who's my safety mark? Is that just Mark by himself? Okay. Who's the best? All right, let's go. Next one. For an after-hours trip, what is the proper way to swipe with your Sonar wand? Just pre-trip, then the trip sheet is where you put your time. Swipe in, pre-trip, child check, post-trip. Blue is you do not need to swipe at all on trips. Green is call dispatch and have them swipe you in. Swipe in, pre-trip, child check, post-trip. It's gold. All right, who's the winner? The Incredibles. Who's the Incredibles? There you go, guys. All right. The best is second, Barbecue Master third, team 1, 2, 3, 4 is fourth. All right, let's go. Next one. If you have a trip attached to the end of your route, how would you swipe? Don't need to do anything different. Just stay swiped in. Swipe out after route. Swipe into trip. Child check. Post trip. Write it on the exception sheet when you get around to it, or swipe out after route. Swipe into trip. Post trip. Yay, team. All right, who hit the red? Who hit the red? All right, let's go. The Incredibles. All right. When swiping in for any task, the most important thing is swipe in on the bus at your scheduled time. Swipe in when you are good and ready. Swiping out is optional. Swiping in is optional. Yay, team. I'm very proud of all of you. MVP overtook the lead by 12. By 12. Grandview's sneaking up too. Grandview's coming up. Alright, next one. If you go past your scheduled swipe out time, route or trip, you should tell Ray or Jim, don't worry about it, you're rich anyway. Put it on the pink sheet, put a valid exception on the white sheet. Ooh, this one I didn't go over in detail. It's green. Put a valid exception on the white sheet. Didn't really talk about that. Can you remember? Okay, so before we go forward, hang on. Before we go forward, listen up. What goes on the pink sheet? Extra work. What goes on the route white sheet? Route exception, trip exception goes on the white sheet. Got it? Pink sheet, extra work, white sheet, route, or trip exception. We will have these at all of our. And our winner is Super 8. Where's my Super 8 crew? Congratulations, Super 8. All right. All right, that's swiping. Good job. So, see Ray after. Next one. I'm going to go ahead and do the other one. We're ready to put this. So we're going to Kahoot some more. Now it's time to do the dry run. All right. Here we go. Ready to put your number in for this one? Ready to put your number? There's your new number. who couldn't get it? Hang on, hang on, hang on. Hang on. All right, here we go. Operations review for dry run. A perfect dry run consists of show up anytime on the 7th and 8th and run the route. Arrive at scheduled lot time, run route and bus, write down times. Look up addresses on the map to go to restaurant afterwards. Arrive at scheduled lot time, run route and car, write down time. Very good. For whoever put the car on there, we do not run our route, our dry runs in the car. Please do not. Thank you.
Right.
Love the chat.
You can do it with your car. You just don't get
Mandatory dry run dates are whenever I can make it, August 15th during the first year, August 7th and 8th at any time, or August 7th and 8th for my scheduled time. Obviously, I did not do my job very well. It's very obvious. So, what time do we run our dry runs on the 7th and 8th? What time do we run our dry runs on the 7th and 8th? Okay. What time do we run our dry runs on the 7th and 8th? Thank you. Can we do it in a car or a bus? Thank you. Incredibles, incredibles. All right, now ask the question, I believe. Yep, 3 mandatory dry runs are paid at what rate? B rate, A rate in the morning, B rate in the afternoon, C rate or A rate if they run their scheduled time. B rate in the afternoon, come see Ray and I, because that's what we're going to pay you. Everybody else, if you just meet the minimum requirements, we're going to pay the rest of you A rate. How's that? Does that work okay? So, who put, actually, we can look this up. We can look this up. So, I asked who you are, but I actually know already. Sorry to tell you that. So, yeah, all right. The Incredibles won. Go see Ray. Okay. All right. It is 10:20. So how long did I tell you guys I'd be up here presenting? How long was I up here presenting? I wasn't 30 minutes. Who said that? I gave you 5 minutes, okay? You got 15, restroom, back, okay? Restroom or smoke or whatever, so it's 10:21 back here at 10:36.
They'll take it serious next time.
explicitly clear. Obviously, I need to make this explicitly clear for everybody. When you do your dry run and you pull up to a stop, how are we going to do that stop? Like we should, like we're picking up a kid, right? We put our 8-ways on, we pull up, we put the scan, we put the brake on, we put our foot on the brake, right? Got it? Open the door, wait 30 seconds, then go to your next stop. Okay? Just want to be clear, I just thought that was implied, but obviously I got asked a question, so it wasn't clear. So now is it clear? So how are we going to do our stops when we do our dry run? Like we're picking up kids, right? All right, excellent, outstanding. Hey, one other thing, I'll show you a video that this Kay did for us here not too long ago, so roll it.
Morning, Kay. How are you today? Good. Ready to be around? Perfect. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. It's going to be a proper procedure, and some of the things that you will be looking at right now.
All right, let's go.
Look at this to see what time my first stop is and where it is. And then I will decide how long it's going to take me to get there. I'm looking at where it's going to take me. It'll probably take me about 15 to 18 minutes to get there. So then that would give me the proper time to leave from. So here I have my clock to check to see what time I should be leaving along. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. And then from there, we'll get to our first stop, and I'll check my clock again to make sure that I'm getting to my first stop on time. So along the way, this will tell us if we're staying on schedule. So my fourth stop, I should be here at about this time. That gives me a good idea. I'll go ahead and write it down. But this is my fourth stop and the time I was here.
All right, KB, it looks like we're pulling into great here.
Okay, what I'm going to check when I'm pulling the brake is to make sure that I am on time. Our elementary schools must be there by 25 after. So we're going to pull up as if we're going to hello each other. So we're going to check our time here on the clock to see if it's exactly what time we're supposed to pull up to the school. Round run on the first day to make sure that you know exactly where you're going is most important for a happy first day for all of our students in the Parkland district. Thank you for your help.
That's good.
All right. That's dry runs. So at this point, I believe we want to open this up, right, Ray? Oh, yeah, first day. I'm sorry, I forgot about first day. Keep on going. We already took a break. Perfect first day. Is that loud? That's kind of hot. All right. Our goals, our first day, no lost students. Pretty obvious, right? We will lose these students. So let me describe what that actually means to you as a driver. I get to school, I pick up a bunch of kids at the school, right? They get on my bus, we take them, at the end, little Susie, I forgot to get off at my stop. Is that a lost student? No. This is a lost student. Mom calls dispatch. Oh my God, little Susie didn't show up at home tonight. Where's little Susie? Well, we dropped Susie off at her stop. Why would you drop her off at her stop? She's a kindergarten. Sorry. She's a kindergarten. You don't drop her off at the stop without an adult or a responsible party, an older sibling. Okay? That's a lost student. Now little Susie's lost. we made the mistake of dropping her off as a kindergartner without somebody there to receive her. Okay? That's a lost student. All right. We drive good routes. That means we're safe. We don't rush. If we get behind, what do? We stay behind, right? We get behind, we stay behind. That's how it works. We don't rush to make up time. We want to be safe. No sleeping children left on the bus. So how do we prevent that? We do our, somebody said check. Check's not, search. We search. We're searching for kids, okay? All right. We're going to check students off the bus. So you will have a list. So those of you with Park Hill are familiar with this. Maybe some of maybe the Grandview folks aren't. But what we request you to do is you will have a list of your students. Okay? In the past, we had you check them on at the school and check them off in the PM, right? We don't have to check them on at the school anymore. The school's going to handle that for Park Hill. What you have to do now is you have to check them off. So you will have a list of your students, and you will have to note that they got off the bus. Okay? So how this looks, so everybody understands how this looks, the first 2 days of school in Park Hill, they will dismiss a little early. We will be at the school, the first tiers, a little early. Our first tiers are our high schools and middle schools. So we will be there early to pick those kids up. They will have them all wristbanded, check them on. The high schools, they might not have wristbanded. And the middle schools, they might not. The elementaries, they will have wristbanded. Anyway, they will have them already checked on. They will hand you a sheet and say, Jim's on the bus. It'll say that on there. Jim's on the bus. Then all you've got to do is check them off on the same sheet when they get off. The same thing will happen at the elementaries. Okay? So the first couple of days, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to start a little earlier, make sure we have plenty of time to get to our second tiers, and we're going to check kids off the bus in the afternoons. All right? That's how the first couple of days are going to go. Now, for those of you who have high schools, you will have an early out on the second day. So, what I just said was the high schools actually have their normal Wednesday early outs on the second day of school. If you have one of those routes in Park Hill. Okay? All right. Now, smallest riders. We've mentioned this a couple times. Smallest riders need to be connected with either an adult or an older sibling. And we're going to go through this again here a little bit later, but I just want to remind you, smallest riders, those are our kindergartners. All right, let me student search. Go ahead. All right, first tier PM, I already mentioned this. We'll start early. Times will be announced. We actually just got them yesterday. We'll get you those times. It'll get you allow you time to get to the second tier, second day. Same thing. We'll start early with the first tiers. High school's got early out. Go ahead. All right, smallest riders, kindergartners. This is a must for kindergartners. This is a district procedure. Notice I didn't say policy, I said procedure. Kindergartners must be connected to either an adult or an older sibling getting off that bus. So if you're not sure letting your kindergartners off your bus, you hold them and you say, tell me where your mom, dad, or older sibling is. Okay? And they're to point and you're to connect them. So what does that mean? You need to separate your kindergartners out on your drops. We don't go to El Chaparral. That's for those of you who don't know, that's a apartment complex over here where we'll do bus stops there and 30 kids will get off the bus at one time. Okay? So what that means is we don't let 30 kids get off the bus. We keep our kindergartners back and make sure they connect with who? Who do they connect with? Very good. An adult, a responsible adult, parent, older sibling. Correct. Thank you. All right. If you're in doubt, so this is the other thing I want to remind you. Some of the new drivers in here might not know this. If you're in doubt, you call dispatch. I can't find, Susie doesn't have a parent here. Call dispatch, we call the school goes and runs down Susie's parents. That's how it works. Sometimes that takes a while, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes we tell you we'll want to finish the rest of your route, keep Susie on the bus, and come back. Sometimes the parent shows up in a few minutes. Yeah.
Jim, I'd just like to add in, it is not only a Park Hill District policy, it is First Students policy that kindergartners get dropped off with a parent
or with an older sibling. First, student policy.
Thank you. Perfect. So, that applies to all of you. I'll take questions right now. Get in here just a minute. Okay? Thank you. All right, so that's those three pieces right there. So let's go to the next piece, which is let's talk about our expectations about being professional. So, this basically lays out the elements of a professional: customer friendly, great attendance, swipes correctly, practices safety, turns in all monthly deliverables. So I'm going to go through these with you one more time so that everybody knows where we're at. So, go ahead. All right, things you need to do every day. Show up for work. That's the biggest one. Yes, thank you. I appreciate your applause. Did I get a standing ovation if I say it twice? So show up for work, folks. No one, and you know what? This is the thing about this comment, this statement. 95% of you show up for work every day. And dear God, I love you. Those of you who show up every day, I absolutely love you. And you think I'm joking? I'm serious. Because you make life easier for those kids. They see the same name, the same face, the same person on that bus. The school sees the same person on that bus every day. They love you. Okay? No one drives or monitors your route better than you do. Believe me, because I've had to jump on a bus, raised had to jump on a bus when somebody didn't show up for work. And, you know, I like to think of myself as a good bus driver, but I can't do a route the same way you can do a route if you've been driving it the last 30 days and I've only driven it the last 10 minutes. Right? So, okay. Show up for work. That's number one. Other things you need to do every day. Be professional. Treat school facilities, school employees with respect, like they're yours. Act like you're a guest in there. If you go into that school, act like you're a guest, not just part of the staff. Okay? Respect is the key word here. Treat others, you know, the golden rule. Appearance. Know the dress code. If you don't know the dress code, ask one of us. We'll tell you. All right? Appearance has an impact. You want to be treated professionally? Dress professionally. I'm not saying you got to wear a three-piece suit to work to drive a bus. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying, though, is if you show up with, you know, some garbage on your front of your shirt, you know, it's not so professional. You show up with, you know, paint splatters all over your clothes, not real professional. Okay? Think about it. All right. Good. Some more things. You got to manage your students. Casey mentioned this earlier, talked about it in depth. I'm not going to repeat it. You own the student behavior on your bus. It's as simple as that. So if you think the teacher getting on the bus to help you with your student behavior is going to fix your student behavior, it's not. It's okay to invite them on to help, but that's all it is, it's help. They're not going to fix it. All right, yelling in the seven mirror, not good communication skills. If you've got to yell in the seven mirror bunch, then you need to stop the bus and get out of the car. Or not get out, get out of the car. All right, what goes on the pink sheet? What goes on the white sheet? Route. Right. All right, the other thing, and you need to do what? Search, search, search. Okay? I'm proud of those 6 people we mentioned earlier, and they're not the only ones who found kids last year. Those were just the last 6 this summer that found kids. Every one of them is a success story. We found a kid that was asleep on the bus before we got off that bus. Because we've all heard the stories before. There was a child in Ohio who died from being left on a bus in the summer heat. This has been a few years ago, but we've got those stories. We've all heard those stories. Those are pretty dramatic things. All right, let's go ahead. Weekly, keep bus clean. You got to do your form verification with the sign-off sheet, and your lead driver will collect these for outlying locations. So the form verification is critical. That's the child checkmate system and the theft mate system that we check. Go ahead. And then monthly, in Park Hill, you have to do seating charts monthly. It's required by the school district. You have to do your load count sheets, again, monthly, required by the school district. And attend safety meetings because DOT requires them. You know that the DOT requires 10 hours of safety training every year. This counts as part of that. These 4 hours today will count as part of that. Your safety meetings count as part of that. That's why it's critical that you attend your safety meetings. Outline areas, Casey or I or Ray will come and do your safety meetings along in conjunction with the lead drivers. Okay. right, so that's the professional side of this. Let's do a committee.
Jim, just one more second. I would like to acknowledge one more person that found a sleeping child this summer that we did not get on the board before. Kiera Lunday, would you please stand up? There's that superstar. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, so our happy numbers are going to pop up here in just a second. Oh, that wasn't there. I did not make that noise. All right, there's your number. Get signed in.
Ready to be around? Perfect, thank you. How about you guys? Absolutely. All right, thanks. I'm going to demonstrate how to do a proper dry run procedure. And some of the
All right, we're looking for 7 more.
All right, okay, let's go.
look at is to see what time my first stop is and where it is. And then I will decide how long it's going to take me to get there. I'm looking at the Richmond, Kentucky woods. It'll probably take me about 15 minutes to get there. So then that would give me the proper time to leave the club.
Fantastic. All right, then you got a camera.
Who am I missing? 10 seconds. You don't get signed in.
To see what time I should be leaving.
All right, let's go. Let's go. We got the ball, so let's go. Parkville operations review. Dry run. We already did dry run. We already did these. We did these. Can we stay ahead? Procedures, yeah. There we go. All right, we're gonna do this again. No problem. We got plenty of time. So we have some nice box lunches coming. There's your number. There we go. Let's go. Let's rock this one. Not even if things beware. of the following is true concerning PM routes during the first week of school. You check students on and off. School checks students on. You drop them all off wherever. School loads students on. You let them off at the right stop. Just try to survive. Let the kids off where they belong. Check students on. School loads students on, you let them off at the right stop. So let's go through this again. Yeah, we got some confusion. Confusion in the ranks. All right. So everybody needs to pay attention, please. Thank you. So listen up. All right. This is what's going to happen the first few days of school, just so everybody's on the same page. School is going to set up the kids. For the elementaries, they will have wristbands. The middle schools will try. They probably won't wear the wristbands. The high schools, they don't wear the wristbands. Okay? They will come to your bus with the proper color wristband. All you have to do is make sure that you have the wristband color that applies to your bus as they get on the bus. That's all you've got to do. The school will have already checked them into the bus. The school will hand you the piece of paper with all the names of the kids that they've checked in. Okay? So that should be the list of all the kids on your bus, the elementary route. That's an example. Then all you have to do is take that same list, and as you drop kids, check them off that they were dropped at their stop. Okay? So that doesn't mean we just go down the street to the Piggly Wiggly and drop all the kids off at Piggly Wiggly and then check them all off. That means we check them off at their stop. There's none, right? So you don't have to check the kids on like we did in summer school and we did last year. You just have to check them off as they get off the bus. All right, Incredibles, Real McCoys, and the Real Slim Shady. I'm sorry. All right, kindergartners should be handled now. Have them sit up front. Only release them to a parent or older sibling. Make sure you highlight where they are on your route sheet. All the above. This is a trick question. Super A. Who's Super A? Alright, you guys want Barbecue Master's cheating. He's by himself. Hey, folks, nice job. Okay? A lot of details today. Hopefully you remember these. Do you like the cahoots? Alright, let's bring those into our second cahoots. What kind of like them too?
Hey Jim, I have a question. What team won the most of the cahoots today?
I don't know.
I think it was the Super A people. Let's give them a hand. Hey Casey, could you do me a favor? Could you, no actually I'm going to get Ron to do it. Ron's going to go over and get down all of their names so we can make sure that they're properly awarded. All right, okay, let's see what's up next.
Q&A.
No email. How do I get that? Yeah, and then what I do, sex cancer. Stuff. And then you can send me that video.
So we got a few little items. Just got 2 items got to go over. And then we'll take questions.
All right, I'm going to do the first one. And then I'm going to have Jim do this next one. I'll do one, and then Casey's going to talk a little bit too. So this is going to be pretty easy. These are some new features and things that are available to First Student people. And so I want to introduce you to First View. So let me tell you about First View. This is an important year for everybody who works in the Park Hill organization. I call it that, but we understand that means that we've got 3 state schools, and we got some YMCA, and we got people in Lone Jack. So everybody here has gone to get us to this point where we're going to use this application. Now you can go online and find a lot about it, but let me explain briefly what First View is. First View is now finally the parents have an app where they can look on their phone and see where their bus is. Right. So that's going to help in a lot of ways. So they'll be able to see you where you're at, and that way they don't call in, hey, where's the bus? When's the bus coming? It even gives them an ETA of when the bus is going to arrive. Now, not everybody can do this. First of all, they've been trying to get this kind of an app ready to go for years and years and years and years. But we finally have it, and it's going to be available to them. We're going to run some test pilots first to make sure everything works, because we've got to do things in operations and in dispatch, like make sure that if you come back in and say, my bus doesn't start, we need to make sure that we switch that bus out, because guess what? If Rev comes in and says, my bus doesn't work, and then we give her bus S7, and she goes and starts running her route, if we don't put her bus S7 on there, the parents are going to go, the bus is at the lot. When is she going to leave? I thought she was a good egg. She didn't even come to work today. But we can also do things, really cool things in dispatch by just, we can send a message just to those parents on that bus saying, hey, your bus is going to be running behind. Or, hey, your sub driver today is blase, blase, blase. It's really a cool app. And so that's going to be happening. We'll be giving you more and more information, but we've got enough parents that work here for First Student in our district that we can use them as test guinea pigs. And we've got a bunch of people who are administrators who would like to do it. So that's coming this year. The other thing is that there's a dashboard. It's a beautiful thing. So the dashboard shows you exactly where all the buses are. Exactly. So the administrators can have them. The transportation director will have them, and we'll have it, of course, in dispatch too. So, great application. We've been waiting for a long time for something like that, and the industry has recognized that this is probably the best tool available. All right. So now, next up is Jim to tell you about Freshman Day.
All right. So, if you take a route, Park Hill South route, we did this last year. It was met with great success. So, if you went to the Park Hill South route, just know you are actually going to start on the 14th and not the 15th. On the 14th, you will do your route, pick up all the freshmen on your route, go to Park Hill South, drop them, hang out for about an hour, and then take them back and drop them off at their homes. So if you take a Park Hill South route, just know that you will be running your route on the 14th. Will be your first actual day. You will start in the a.m., do the pickup at the normal scheduled time, drop the kids to school, and then pick them back up within about an hour, hour and a half, and take them home. Okay? We did this last year. It was met with great success. The school loved it. The freshmen loved it. You might have some bus buddies helping you out on the bus to get them familiar with it, but it works really well. So that's Freshman Day at Park Hill South.
I have a correction. Please don't look at this. This is wrong. We need to erase it. It's not the 14th. It's the 11th. It's that Friday. My bad. I did this slide. Everybody threw eggs at me. I'm sorry. Boo Ray. August what day? August the 11th. So if you pick a Park Hill South route, Freshman Day is the 11th. You show up at your normal time. Okay, I'm going to take some questions.
You're not on Park Hill?
No, just Park Hill South. Okay, next slide. All right, here it is. We're almost up to the last slide, so we're going to take some questions after this. First Student Connect. Now, this is another app that they've made so that you can stay in contact with what's going on in the company and also what's going on at your lot. So I've already... Hey, sir, please don't talk. You're interrupting. So, First Student Connect is an app that you can download. And what we're going to do is, if this is totally up to you if you want to do it, but we've got a little tab of our own called Parkville. And I can put announcements up there. First of all, how's the text caster been working out? So that's a good way to get things out. If we don't have your right number, it's going to really be tough. Or if your service provider is not carried, but this is a way around that. If we don't have, TextCaster tries to get all the service providers, but if we don't have your right number and we don't support that service carrier, then this might be an option. Because you can not only look at what's going on at Parkville and the company, you can also check your ADP. And the way that you get logged on is by using your employee number. How many people know what their employee number is? A lot of you probably do because you've used it to log into ADP. How many people log into ADP? Okay. Well, if you don't know your number, I'll make it available to you. I don't have them with me today, but I can get it for you. So if you want to download this app. Now, the other thing that's really cool about this, does anybody know what PerkSpot is? So there's a lot of perks. If you sign up for this, they send you emails and notices. Like there was one where I saw where it was a car, it was like $3,000 off on when you buy a new car. There were stuff, it was all kinds of specials at stores and different things like that. It's worth going to at least take a look at. If you don't like it, delete the app and keep it moving. Last but not least, last slide, Casey.
We have some important upcoming dates. And before I get to this, I just want to say, everyone should have their physical done before the first day of school. So, you might take a peek at your DOT card and make sure that you are not out of date. If so, you need to make arrangements to do that and get the paperwork from either myself or if you're a state school or LoJack, we'll deal with that with a lead driver, okay? But please make sure that you're taking care of your med-cert. After you get your physical done, if you are a driver, make sure that you are going to the DMV and certifying your license. Big deal. They will downgrade your license if you don't. So it's $2, take $2 with you and bring us the receipt and we'll get you your $2 back. So, important upcoming dates. We are going to have Route View at the PAC August 3rd from 9 to 2. All of the routes will be available for you to look over, so it's important that you take the time to be there. Route bid for drivers and Head Start, call sign, I apologize. Home to school routes. August 4th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the PAC again. Monitors will be on the 5th from 9 a.m. to noon.
Casey, those dates are long. It's the 2nd is a route bid, 3rd and 4th, or route review the 2nd.
I stand corrected. It is the 2nd is route view. 3rd and 4th is route bids.
What day? This is funny. Okay. All right. So tomorrow is the 2nd. Am I not right? All right. Let me have that. So nothing is tomorrow. I know that much. Okay.
Yeah. Route bids is route view is tomorrow.
Route view is tomorrow. All right, so turn the slide off.
Ray was up at midnight making this.
We had a good run. We got all the way to the last slide and I crashed and burned. Okay. Today is kickoff. I got Is that right? Good job. Tomorrow is Route View. So at the pack, 9 o'clock, you can look at all the routes, okay? Thursday and Friday, the 3rd and the 4th, is route bid. Now the drivers for homeschool, you come and bid that. And then the next day, the monitors show up, and from 9 to noon, they bid. And then in the afternoon, anything that's left over, which should just be the middays, and we'll explain all that here in a minute, is what's left over. So what's happening on the 5th? Nothing.
We are all going to
be having a sleep. Okay. Now, so that puts us to dry runs, which we got that right. Please don't show up on Saturday to bid on anything. There will be nothing left. So, okay. And then freshman orientation, we got this time right. August the 11th, be there at lock time. They're going to dismiss. We want the buses there at 10:30, and we're good to go. Beautiful, beautiful. First day of school. It's here. It's happening. 14 more days, 13 more days, 12, 11, 10. So it's going to be on August 15th. We all know that. And state schools, all the state schools are going to start on the 17th of August, 2 days later. All right, all right. So there's other dates that are coming up. If you're a Head Start person, it's sometime in September. But then if you're a state school Head Start, I don't even know. But we'll find out. I will have those dates to you. The most important thing, though, is that let's make sure that we get those bids done. And now it's time to take some questions. Did anybody write down any questions? We did. All right. Let's see. Mary's hand went. I saw her. And then we're going to do Debbie after Mary. And then after that, George, you just stuck your hand up and we'll get her. So you guys help me get this done correctly. I don't want to leave anybody out. Go, Mary. Sure. Great question. Listen up. Her question was, will the elementaries have Z-Pass? And there's 2 schools that are going to have them. We thought there was going to be 3 because 3 ran this summer, but there's 2 schools. And those schools are Graydon, and the other school is English Landing, I think. Graydon, English Landing. I'm not sure about Plaza or Congress just yet. But we do know that those elementary schools, which was your question, are Graydon and English Landing. So Union Chapel did it this summer, but the only reason they did it was because that's where the school was held at Union Chapel. So, having said that, does everybody know what Z-Pass is? Z-Pass is when the children have a card and they swipe it in to get on the bus, and they swipe to get off. Now, just real quick, and then I'll move to the next question. If the kid doesn't have their card, you still have to let them on the bus. Okay? This is not like the Metro where where's your money? Get up. You still have, now, but what we'll do is we will run reports. We've got it to where it's a little sophisticated now. We'll run a report, get with the school, but it's your job as the driver, the monitors won't have to, because we're not doing those routes. Please enforce the fact that they need to bring their card and swipe in, and then swipe out when they get off the bus. It's a safety feature. Forever. The whole time. Yeah. Okay, so who's next? Debbie was next. I said Debbie was next. Here it comes.
I'm asking, we got another charter trip, and I'm just asking not for me, but I've been asked by a lot. People that have charter trips, we bid on the 3rd and the 4th. Are you going to cover their trips so that they have this time for their bid? How are you doing?
Absolutely fantastic. And it's not really me that handles, but there are union rules that govern if you have a business reason, work reason, then you are allowed what they are called a proxy bid. All you need to do is see your union steward. So if you've got a trip or if you're doing some work for us or we got you doing something, you are absolutely allowed to get a proxy bid Your union steward will tell you what that is, but that you kind of let them know what you want. That's why it's really important to go look at the routes. Good question. You were next, then I'll get you, George, okay? Go ahead, Mary. I kind of like that. So her question was, can we have some little cards that we can give to the parents to call? So here you come up to the stop, and you know the parents, so you're not worried. You don't see them with a pistol in their hand. And so you tell them to come around to the window, and they go, I want to know why you got here so early, or why you got here so late. Hey, look, we are your defenders. We will take care of it, and there's a lot of people here who will tell you that we have defended them. So you just go, ma'am, I can't talk to you because I'm going to be late for my next round if I sit here and have a conversation with you. Well, don't say that, please. just hand them the card and go. I would love to talk to you, but I've got to get to my next stop. My manager or assistant manager would be glad, or somebody in dispatch will talk to you. Hand them a card and keep it moving. I like that. We'll make some cards. Okay, so, Mary, a follow-on question? I'm not Sean Spicer. I can't handle more than. Go ahead, George. We'll get back to you. Yes. Absolutely. So I'll say what he said. So the first one is, I think he meant charter work. So we're going to have, and I think Joey's already got it. She's ready for you. If you want to do charters, you have to sign up today to do charter work. And then we'll put you in seniority order. That's a whole different meeting. And then Jody's going to schedule a meeting for you where she goes over the rules of how it works. So you will have to sign up on a piece of paper saying, I want to do charter work. So that was the first one.
Hey, hang on a second. I think he was asking.
That's right.
Extra duty.
But I want to, if he didn't mean that, I'm sticking it in. So, extra duty work, if you want extra work to do every day, there is going to be a sign-up sheet on the window. Now, this is going to apply for Parkville. If there's extra work at state schools, I'll have to figure out what that is and come up with a process for it. But if you're in Parkville and you want extra work, there will be a sheet as you walk in on every day. You put your name on the sheet, and then you must be present to win. That's how it works. So if they've got stuff, usually this dispatch person will just call them off in seniority order and let you know over the radio. But if there's stuff that's left over, you might want to come up to the lot, because if we call it out and you're not there, we got to go to the next person on the list. Now, it's gotten better. It's still not perfect, but it's gotten better every year, and we're working and watching and making sure that we do it the right way. Because to me, if you're going to have a union shop, we got to do it the right way. And let's go with Nancy. There is no way for you to get that information if you do not have a smartphone. But if you're asking, like, I want my employee number, I can get you that. But as far as the app goes and ADP and all that stuff, that's online. ADP is also available where you can log on through your computer. So that's otherwise it's business as normal. You get your paycheck when you get it. You can see it then. Different things like that. Ernie is our union representative for Parkville. Give him a hand. He did a great job. He really did do a good job. Here it comes, Ernie. Okay, I'll say it. Good. Two good things. So, for those of you who need a union story, Ernie will be there at the PAC tomorrow. So if you need a proxy bid because you have work-related needs amiss, he'll be there, and he can explain to you any other things as well. Okay. His second question was, what if I can't make it on the 7th and 8th? Well, mandatory dry runs are the 7th and 8th. Okay. One of the wonderful things that's happened for me, because it just makes it easier for me, is that you guys now get paid a rate for doing mandatory dry runs. So, hey, yay, right? Mandatory A rate. I don't think they want it. I think they want it big. So, but if you do not show up, first of all, mandatory means you got to be there, you got to be to work. What can happen with your attendance if you don't show up? We'll lose points, so that's all bad. The second thing is that if you don't do your mandatory dry run at the time, you will not get a rate. So that's the other piece. And that rule has been turned around, vetted, jumped up and down with the union. So if you have any questions, see your union steward. That's kind of how that's going to work. Now you will, if you come in some other day and you do it on the bus, we want you to practice, but it's B rated for that. A rated if you show up when you're supposed to show up. Anybody else got a question? Otherwise, I'm going to take it.
Didn't Meredith have a second question too?
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to get the new people, then I'll come back to you, Nancy. Meredith. Okay, here's a new person. I got a new person right here, and then I'll get you. Okay? Yes, ma'am. Hold up. Okay, now this is really important. So listen up, state schools. That whole rule about showing up, that is specified in the Park Hill contract. So that is for Park Hill people only. So as far as when you got to do it at your state school, I will get with your lead driver and we will establish how that's going to run. But in the contract that we get paid off of from Park Hill, it's mandatory dry runs 2 days at your show up time. Okay, good question. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm curious. We're taking the kids off of the bus and in. Do you know if that list is going to be alphabetical order or is it going to be stop order? Because alphabetical.
Right. So here's what I'm more concerned about. They're going to hand you a list. I would take a few minutes to scan it, but where I'm most concerned is your route sheet is going to have your stop and the kids on that stop, okay? So I would pay a lot more attention to that. Guess what that sheet is proof of? That is proof that this is what the teacher gave me and this is what she put on my bus. So if they go, Susie got on the wrong bus, is that your fault? No. Now, if you catch it and Susie, you've memorized the kids on your route sheet or something like that, you get the point. So, but that's more what that's for. But what you can do is then, at the end of your route, if you checked everybody who got off your bus like you're supposed to on your route sheet, it's a simple matter of just checking them off on the sheet that they gave you. So that's an easy way to do it. All right, I'm gonna go with Preston, and then I'm gonna go with Bill, and then we'll wrap it up with Nancy. Go ahead, Preston.
Just a short question. We have 2 union stewards tonight.
Okay. Yeah, Preston. Bill. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Back to the hub, another child check, and then you go home.
Yes, sir. Now, Bill is actually a very studious man, and he checked on something that they are still debating in the halls of justice at the corporate level. And that is that the handbook, which by the way has been rewritten and we're going to give them out to you, I have not seen it. They just sent it yesterday, so I haven't had time to look at it. But the old handbook states, now yes, you do have to pull over and do that child search on the road after you empty your bus both times. But it also states that when you get back to the lot, what is the one thing that you do to end the whole shebang? It's called a something trip. Post trip. All right, so what do you do when you do your post trip? Oh, no, let's do it the right way. I grab the wand gracefully. I turn it on. I swipe my card, which is in my pocket. I go and pick what? Post trip. I go over and I hit it. And so at first, then it asks me for the bus. Hit the bus. Then what do? I gotta go where? I gotta go to the back of the bus. So what am I doing when I'm doing? I'm doing a child search. I get back there and I do it, and I come back and then I hit my 4 buttons on the outside. Please do not swipe your buttons on this side and the buttons on the bus next to you, because I can tell that. Finally, we can tell your little trick. Yes, indeed, I know about that. I'll be laughing. Why would you even do that? It's just 6 seconds to go on the other side of it. All right, but so here's the point. Here's the point. The point is that you have done a child search with your post trip. However, until they make an official ruling, do another child search back at the lot. Okay, so you do a child search. Now, but Bill's right. He's absolutely right. He showed me the handbook. I actually took it up to the powers that be when we were doing it, and they're going to make a ruling because apparently DOT law in other states may have some other, I don't know. So, but they'll get back to me. That's the way we're going to do it. Who was after Bill? Nancy, and then that'll be, where are we at on time? How we doing? We got lunches back there? I see lunches. All right, Nancy, go ahead. Right. Oh, you almost had it perfect. So, listen up, because this comes up every year. What if you're on a route and your bus breaks down? First thing that happens is me and Jim are going to go run screaming back into the mechanic area because I really can't stand it when buses break down. But we do pretty good. We really do. And I got Jory back there. Jory is the man. Jory, stand up. Jory fixes all the buses. Nobody else has to do anything. So it's his fault if your bus breaks. No. Hey, all joking aside, you guys don't understand. We have some of the best mechanics we really do. If you didn't know it, I have 3 certificates of excellence sitting on my desk that I haven't given them to them yet. Every one of our contracts had over a 95%, and we had a 97 on our state inspection. So we've got the best buses around. So yes, we do have really good people. So if something is wrong with the bus and there's persistent problems, you guys know how to get that addressed. We've been doing a pretty good job. There have been a couple of instances where we had a few problems that we had to work out. But to Nancy's question, the bus breaks down, okay? So now you're sitting there waiting, you've got kids on the bus. When the bus comes, the first thing that needs to happen, listen up because I want you to get it right. The first thing that needs to happen is that you stay on the bus, okay? Then the mechanic will stay on the bus, okay? You will escort the kids off the bus into the other bus. Somebody is still on that bus, okay? After they get on that bus, you then go ahead and swipe out of the bus that you were on, okay? You go back, you don't have to pre-trip the new bus because we've pre-tripped it already. And this is an emergency and we need you to get going. So go ahead and swipe in on the new bus and then run the rest of your route, do everything that you're supposed to do with your child searches and everything when you get back.
Right. Back here. Right.
Yes, sir.
After they load all the kids on the new bus, what's the last thing they do with the old bus?
That's right. You got to search. Good point. I cannot believe I forgot that. Yes, because there could be a kid asleep who didn't know that the bus broke down. Sleeping heavily peace. I'm going to take one more question. We'll take it from our Grandview people here in the middle. Yes, ma'am. Hold up. Hold up. Yes, ma'am. Oh, yeah, you do. Okay. See, okay, so I am not going to touch that one because every bus has a different personality. You know, some of them you got to turn the key one way, the other. Some of them you got to lift the back lever. It's all traffic. I don't want to talk about it. Okay. Hey, you guys, this was great fun. What time do we have there, Jim? All right, last order of business. You will have to sign out. If you just go back to your name again, they will give you a lunch of your choice. We got several assortments. I believe we got kind of a club sandwich thing, we got an Italian thing. I think we got some chicken salad going on, and then we got drinks and everything. You guys, this is always the most fun part of the year. Make sure that they sign you out, they'll check you out, and then grab a lunch and enjoy. And Grandview people don't go anywhere.